then we will start our discussion. Okay. So good morning, all of you. The name of this subject is, as you people know, computer organization. Okay, computer organization and architecture. So, what we are going to study in this subject? Computer organization and architecture. So in this subject, we will try to focus on internal working of, you can say, computer. Okay, that how computers are built, how different component of computer are implemented. Okay, how they are connected. So all these details we are going to learn in this subject. We will be starting this subject with register transfer language means we will start with the basic unit of computer. Okay, and then gradually we will move forward towards the, you can say, uh, control unit. Okay, then central processing unit and all those things. So let me tell you that what we will discuss in this first unit. So in first unit, we will discuss register transfer. What is register? What is register transfer language? Okay, which are the basic microoperations supported by, you can say, uh, computer architecture and all those things we will be discussing here. Okay, so am I audible to all of you? Am I audible? Okay. So, what we will learn over here. Okay, let me quickly go through the syllabus so you can have idea that what we are going to discuss in this subject. Okay, so let's start. So the purpose of this subject is to know the working of computer, the internal issues, okay, how the memory management, how data will be managed, how instruction will be executed, the architecture, how architecture is formed. So that is the objective of this subject. At the end of this subject, you will be able to understand and describe the basic of various architectural unit of computer, means how individual component of computer works. Then you will be able to apply the knowledge of combinational and sequential circuit to mimic a simple architecture. Means whatever you people have studied in digital electronics, okay, using those components, how you can implement the basic computer. So that we will be discussing that you will be able to learn. Okay, and then you will be able to create a small problem solution using whatever concept we have learned. And then there will be you will be able to write the assembly language program. Okay, and then demonstrate the perform ALU operation and instruction level parallelism, and identify and differentiate the various method for the IO mechanism, input output mechanism. If you look at the teaching scheme of this subject, then we are having the 3 hours of theory. Okay, one lab session. The credit of this subject is 4. Then in theory marks, we will have in theory marks. We are having 3 component. Okay, EAC, mid, and internal. Okay, so the and you can say we will have 50 marks end semester exam, 30 marks mid semester exam, and 20 mark internal. So for that we will have quiz. Okay, okay. Do it. Am I audible clearly now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we will have 20 marks internal. So for internal component, we will have quiz and assignment. So that I will upload in Classroom. Okay, I will be sharing the Google Classroom code with you. So you people will be joining the classroom for the same. And whatever lab experiment, whatever tutorial we will do. Okay, so all those tutorial you people are supposed to upload into that Google Classroom. Then we will have Viva and term work marks. So for term work, as I told you just before 2 minutes, that we will have lab session and we will be uploading those experiment into the Google Classroom. So at the end of the semester, it will become your term work. Okay, and at the term end, we will have Viva examination. So there we will have Viva, and based on your performance in Viva, you will be evaluated. If you look at the content of this subject, okay, then here you can see computer data representation, register transfer, language and microoperation, then basic computer organization and design, microprogram control, okay, central processing unit, pipeline, then computer arithmetic, okay, input output organization, memory organization. So from here onwards, you people will have, you can say, no, operating system. Okay, so we will go up to the level from where you can jump into the operating system. Now, let me tell you that which books we are going to refer for this. Okay, so here Morris Meno will be our textbook, and all the theoretical part we will be covering from the Morris Meno. Okay, for reference book you can refer to the Andrew Tannenbaum Structured Computer Organization and Murdoka and Hearing Computer Architecture and Organization and computer architecture and organization by Hayes. Okay, so these three book are you can say quantitative approach. Quantitative approach means numerical. There will be more numerical content. So let's see. Let's move forward. Okay. Here, this is a suggested list of tutorial. Okay, but we are not going to follow this. We have created a separate list of tutorials, so we will be following that list for tutorial. Uh, Let me show you that list as well, so you can have idea. So which tutorials are there? Yeah, sure. Why not? So. Uh, this will be our lab manual. Okay, and now from this lab manual, we will have tutorials and all those things. Okay, so here lab-wise tutorials are given. Okay, lab 1, lab 2, lab 3, lab 4, lab 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. We will have 12 labs. So for 12 lab, for each lab, we are having the set of tutorials. So that we are going to learn in each lab. Now, one more thing which I would like to show you. Just a minute. So, is it visible to all of you? Uh, I have created one channel. Uh, I have created one channel. Okay, and that channel create the uh, playlist. Okay, that channel consists the uh, playlist. Okay, and in this playlist, you can go to the computer organization and architecture section. Okay, in that section, you will find unit-wise tutorial. Okay, so out of 10 units, I have uploaded mm, 8 units. Okay. Out of 9, yes, out of 8 unit, I uploaded 8 unit. One extra unit is there, that is programming the basic computer. So this is not part of your syllabus, but this is part of GTU. So except this, these remaining 7 units of this subject are available here. I have created the learning material for you people. So whenever you wish to uh, refer to any of this tutorial, okay, you can refer. Okay, so uh, I have prepared the learning material for you people. So at any instance of time, if you want to refer by your own, okay, then you can. Okay, sure, why not? Let me give you the link. Uh, Technology Gardening. Name of the channel is Technology Gardening. Okay. Yes. So you can, if you wish, then you can subscribe or you can keep this link with you, and whenever in future, if you need it, okay, then uh, uh, you can share with your friends as well. Okay, so let's move forward. Let's start with the content, whatever we are going to learn today. Okay, and let me tell you that from where we are going to start in this subject. So in this subject, we will be starting with the computer data representation and register transfer. Okay, register transfer and microoperation. So here we will be starting with register transfer language, register transfer, bus and memory transfer, arithmetic microoperation, logic microoperation, shift microoperation. Okay, and then we will combine arithmetic, logic, shift, microoperation circuit, and then we will create ALSU, ALU, or ALSU, whatever you say. Okay, this part of you can say unit we will be discussing in this unit number 6, computer arithmetic, that how floating point number are represented and all those things. So we will not spend too much time on discussing that what we are going to learn and all those things. So let's start with the actual content. Okay, so let me share window and let's start with one. Okay, one more thing which I would like to tell you people, that this will be the interactive. This should be the interactive session, so there should not be, you can say, one-way communication. Okay, so we will try to communicate in both directions. Okay, so let's start with the first topic. Name of the topic is register transfer language. Now, can you tell me what do you mean by register? Can anybody tell me what do you mean by register? Can anyone tell me? Memory? Okay. Collecting data. Mhm. To keep record, not that register. Okay. Small memory used to keep inside the processor. Fast memory, but low storage capacity. Yes. Okay. So those are the characteristics. We can say register is a unit of storage in computer. Okay. It is unit of storage in computer. Okay, now why it is the unit of storage in computer? So whatever data we will store inside the computer, it will be stored in register. Okay, so we cannot store randomly. So in simple word, let me tell you that if we are having RAM, Okay, then RAM is a collection of register. You people have studied flip-flop, right? In previous semester. You people have studied flip-flop. Okay, so what is flip-flop and what flip-flop will do? So, can anyone tell me? Store. It is used to store data. Okay, so flip-flop will store one bit. Okay, that bit can be either 0 or it can be 1. Okay, so flip-flop will be used to store uh, data. Okay, each flip-flop will store one bit. Okay, there are different kind of flip-flop that you might have studied. For example, JK flip-flop, RS flip-flop, T flip-flop, D flip-flop. Okay, so this type of flip-flop you people have studied in previous semester. So what we will do, we will create the group of flip-flop. Okay, so register for register we can say group of flip-flop. Okay, so register will store uh, data in form of bit. Okay, now size of this register can be 8 bits, it can be 16 bits, it can be 32 bits, it can be 64 bits. Okay, so normally 8 bits is represented using byte. Okay, this is represented as word. Okay, this is represented as a double word. Okay, this is known as double word. So, depending on the architecture, register size will be different. Now, I hope you people are clear with the definition of register. Again, again it is breaking? Okay. I think there should be some issue from your side, Tilon, Tilahon. Sorry if I'm making any mistake in pronouncing your name. So, register is nothing but group of flip-flop. Now, can anybody tell me that what is the need of language? You can unmute and then you can discuss with me. Yes. Can anyone tell me what is the need of language?
Sir, are you talking about machine level language?
Hmm, actually,
Excuse me, sir. Could you repeat?
what is the need of language? Language, in simple terms. I don't want any.
Okay.
Yes, to communicate.
To communicate.
Yes, to communicate or to convey or to transfer the information from one object to another object, right? So the need of language is to the purpose of language is to, let's say, if I want to transfer or if I want to send information from one object to another object, it can be machine to machine, it can be person to machine, or machine to person, okay, or it can be person to person. So the always the purpose of language is to convey the information or to transfer the information from one place to another place. So here, what we will do, or what is the need of language in computer science? Okay, so the purpose of this register language, okay, we will be using register transfer language. We will be using register transfer language. Okay, a language which will specify the register transfer. Register transfer means transfer of data. Okay, now before discussing that, let me tell you one more terminology that we will be using in CO, that is microoperation. Okay, so if we look at the formal definition of microoperation, okay, then it will look like, let's say, operation which is performed on the data which is stored inside the register. Okay, so operation which is performed on the data which is stored inside the register, it is known as microoperation. Okay, now that is known as microoperation means whatever operation we will directly perform on register, okay, it is known as microoperation. Let's have a look at the formal definition of register transfer language. Okay, so if we look at the formal definition of register transfer language, then we can say that it is a symbolic notation which is used to represent microoperation transfer among the registers. Okay, it is symbolic notation which is used to represent the micro operation transfer. Okay, here there will be keyword that is transfer. Micro operation transfer among the register. Okay, micro operation transfer, or you can say micro operation transfer of data among the register. It is known as register transfer language. Okay, now anybody is having any doubt in whatever we have discussed till now? So I can move forward. If you are having any query, any doubt, then you can ask. Otherwise, we will move forward. Anybody is having any query? Yes? Okay. Okay, so let's move forward. Now let's discuss. Now, whenever in future we want to refer to the register transfer language, okay, we will always refer it by RTL. We will always refer it by RTL. Okay. Now, what is a RTL? Okay, what is that language? How we can write it? So, let me tell you. Let me tell you by showing a transaction. Okay. Uh, R1 to R3. Okay, what is R1? Here in this case, R1 will behave as a source. R3 will behave as a destination. Okay, and this arrow represent the transfer micro operation. Okay, so RTL will have three components. Okay, there will be more component, but a simple RTL statement can have three component: source, destination, and transfer microoperation. Okay, this arrow represent the direction. Okay, so we will be using this arrow only in register transfer language. Okay, and this will be source and this will be the destination. Now, how we can represent the register? Okay, so register can have two types: general purpose register and special purpose register. Okay, which are the example of special purpose register? Let me give you some examples so you can have idea that what is the special purpose register and what is the general purpose register. For example, AR, program counter; DR, IR. Okay, if I say the name of AR, then it is, you can say, address register. Okay, PC stands for program counter. Okay, DR stands for data register. Okay, IR stands for instruction register. So these are the special purpose register, okay, which will specify some specific meaning. Okay, or they are implemented to store a specific type of data. For example, program counter will hold the address of next instruction. Data register. So whenever we want to interact with the memory, okay, so at that time DR will play the role as the intermediate element. Then IR is the instruction register. So whenever we will fetch an instruction from memory, okay, it will be stored into IR and uh, it will be stored into IR and then it will be decoded from there. Okay, and AR, address register. So whenever we want to interact with the memory at that time, first the address of that memory will be stored into AR and then that address we will pass to the memory and then we can access the memory. Now, Ashish Prasad Pandey is asking that register is unit or storage. Unit or storage. Okay, so register is a storage. Okay, register is a storage. Unit of storage is bit. Unit of storage is bit. Okay, but most of time, uh, whenever you will be referring to the various book of this computer organization and architecture, okay, you will always find that they will say that register is a data storage unit in computer. Okay, here term computer means CPU and RAM. Okay, hard drive is you can say external part. Okay, it is not part of CPU. Yes, general purpose. General purpose yet not we have not yet discussed. Okay, so we have discussed only special purpose. Let me tell you that what is general purpose register. Okay, and so general purpose register are represented using, let's say, R1, R2 up to, let's say, R15. Okay, so this is one way. Then AR, BR, CR, DR, ER, so ABCD, Okay, so these are the general purpose register. Now, this general purpose register will be part of, you can say, CPU. Okay, it will be inside the CPU. So whenever you are working on any program, okay, and if you are performing any calculation, so the intermediate result, okay, it will be stored into this general purpose register. These registers, these general purpose registers are directly connected with the ALU. they are directly connected with arithmetic logic shift unit, or you can say accumulator. So these special purpose registers are not directly connected with this you can say arithmetic logic shift unit. So these are connected with the different component of CPU, while these general purpose register are directly connected with ALU. So whatever operation you want to perform, whatever instruction you want to use over here, whether it is arithmetic or logical or shift, okay, that all you can perform in general purpose register. So whenever you are writing any program and if you are taking one variable, okay, so that variable will occupy one general purpose register. Another variable, another register, another variable, another register. So we will have set of general purpose register. Clear? Arafat, are you clear? Yes, Sangram, what is your doubt? Can you tell me? Yes. Yes, general purpose. You want to know the what is general purpose register, right? Okay, no problem. Let me tell you that what is general purpose register. So these registers, special purpose register, will play a specific it will play a specific role. Okay, it will perform a specific functionality. So they are not designed to work with you can say direct accumulator, okay, or direct arithmetic logic shift unit. These general purpose registers are directly connected with ALU. Okay, so let's say ALU. This is ALU. These are the, let's say, R1, R2, R3, R4. Okay, so these registers are directly connected with ALU. Okay, and this special purpose register, let's say like AR, PC, IR. So these are connected to the ALU via bus. Okay, so that we will study in upcoming time. That is common bus system. Okay, so whatever operation, arithmetic, logic, or shift operation you want to perform, you can perform into general purpose register. Okay, because they are directly connected with the ALU. Okay, the naming convention of general purpose register is like R1, R2, or up to R15, or AR, BR, CR, DR, ER. Clear, Sangram, now?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes,
Okay, I have a question.
yes.
Which process transfer data register?
Which process?
Transfer data register.
Data register. So
Mm.
we will see instruction in next unit. In next unit, we are having different kind of instruction like data transfer,
Yeah.
yeah, program control, okay, and input output.
Okay, we are using a RTL, mean the register transfer language.
Register. Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
yeah, the transfer language.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So whenever
What?
whenever we will discuss this instruction, okay. So in all of this instruction, we will be using register transfer language.
Yes,
Okay.
that.
So
Yeah, that
yes,
is.
yes, yes. Please.
Yeah, yes. We are talking about register transfer language. Which
Yes.
kind of language? it is
No, it
because
is actually symbol. Yes, it is actually symbolic representation. It
like
is actually, yes, it,
like what?
it is actually symbolic, yeah, symbolic representation like this. Okay,
Echo.
okay. Why? 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 Because we cannot understand binary. We cannot remember binary code for each operation.
Also, we are talking about also micro operation, micro
Oh,
operation.
micro operation, micro
Yes,
operation. Okay, so
and the micro
yes, so
mic,
those
yeah.
all micro operation we will be discussing in next unit. In next unit, we will discuss that what is data transfer micro operation, what is program control micro operation, what is input output micro operation. So we will be discussing that in next unit. So here in this unit, we are basically getting idea about some basic terminology and the simple computer unit, that how a simple unit will be implemented. Okay, then whenever we will go to the abstract level, okay, or you can say higher level. So at that place, we will be using this terminology, register transfer language terminology, and this micro operation, different type of micro operation. Clear?
Yeah, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Praise be to God.
Yeah. Yes. What is the name of this chapter? Name of this chapter is Register Transfer Language as per book. As per book, it is Register Transfer Language. This is the name of the unit as per the book. Okay. And I think it is fourth unit. It is the fourth unit in the book. Unit number 4 in book. Clear, Shubham? Yes, Shubham? Okay. Now, let me tell you that how we can represent the register, which are the various ways of register representation. So first, very simple way, there are four methods. Okay, first, very simple method, name of the register. Let's say R1, or you will write program counter or anything. Means whatever the name of the register is there, we will put that name inside the block. Okay, and that will be representing that particular register. Another method, okay, it is, let's say we will write down the name of the register, and on the top part, we will write down the size, that how many beats are there in that register, that we will write down. Third part, okay, let's say I'm we are writing input register. Okay, so in that case, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We will write down the individual bit in the register. Okay, and then we will show the register that this is input register and there are individual bit. But most of time we will be using either this terminology or we will be using this terminology. This will be used whenever you are, whenever we will have, let's say, some beat level micro operation discussion. Okay, so most of time, whenever we are dealing at the conceptual level or abstract level, we will be either going with this one or we will be going with this one. Third method, let's say, We will divide register into two parts. Okay. Bit number 0 to 7 is lower part and bit number 8 to 15 is higher part. Okay, so if this is register R1, okay, if this register R1, then lower part of this register will be written like R1 of L. Okay, and the higher part of this register will be written like R1 of H. R1 of H. So let's say if it is having 16 byte, okay, then 0 to 7 bit, or we can say also write like we can also identify, we can also call it, let's say, lower byte. Okay, and this is also known as this bit number 8 to 15. This is known as higher byte, lower byte and higher byte. Okay. Okay. So these are the four methods. These are the four methods that you can use to represent the register. Okay, but most of time we will be going with method 1 and method 2. Now, in case of register transfer language only, let's say we want to transfer content from R1 to R2. Okay, and R4 to R3 at the same clock cycle or in parallel. Okay, so in that case, we can write a single statement. We can write a single statement separated by comma. We can write single statement separated by comma. Okay, so this is statement 1 and this is statement 2. Statement 1 and statement 2. Now, we can you people should have asked me these questions that randomly we can transfer the content from one register to another register. No, it is not like that. Okay, based on the certain condition, okay, that content will be transferred from one register to another register. So how we can represent the condition? How we can represent the condition into this register transfer language statement? Okay, so for example, here if we will write, let's say P. Okay, so in this case, this P represent the condition. This P represent the condition. This ultimately the condition check will be one bit of last output. Okay, so either it can be only one bit or there can be expression like x or y. Okay, x or y. Okay, so 0 or 0, 0 or 1. Ultimately, whatever statement we will be writing on the left side of this column, it will be evaluated to one bit. Okay, and value, if the value of that bit is 1, okay, then this part will be whatever we have written, this part will be executed. Okay, if the value of this bit is 0, okay, if this value of this bit is 0, so in that case, this part won't be executed. So in this case, P will behave as a control function. P will behave as a control function. Okay, so In upcoming chapter, whenever we will be learning this part, this type of micro operation, okay? So in each micro operation, we will mention a control function. In each micro operation, we will mention a control function. Okay, so that control function will give us details that how this part will be executed. Clear, all of you? All of you clear with this?
Please,
Sir, can you
please.
repeat the control function?
Control function? Yeah. Uh, we cannot randomly transfer the content from one register to another register. Okay, we have to, if you want to transfer the content, then we must have to look at the certain condition. Okay, so control function will basically specify this condition. Okay, now here I'm giving you just simple example that here P is a control function. Okay, and uh, if value of P is 1, if P is 1, then and then whatever statement we have written towards the right side of this column means all these statement, both statement, then and then that this statement will be executed. If value of P is 0, okay, if this condition is evaluated to false, here it can be any condition. Okay, X and Y or Z. Okay, ultimately whatever you will write, this condition will be evaluated to 1 bit. Okay, if that 1 bit is 1, then this part will be executed. And if that 1 bit is 0, then this part won't be executed. Clear about control function? Yes. Okay. So I think we should conclude our lecture session, and we will be discussing more in next lecture. In next lecture, we will discuss the different. We will start with the different circuit. Okay, and we will try to see that how we can perform the arithmetic operation and all those things. How we can create a simple arithmetic circuit. So that we will discuss. Today we have discussed that what is register, what is language, what is register transfer language, what is micro operation, how register can be represented, how many types of registers are there, what is control function, okay, how we can represent the register, all these things we have discussed. So